Hey Gemini, this is Perrymore Tarot's daily reading for November 6th. Oh gosh, 2024. This is for Gemini. Last shuffle for Gemini. Gemini, so many cards fell that I feel like Spirit is trying to tell you a bunch of stuff, man. I usually don't accept this many cards. I would start it over, I'm telling you. But there's like 10 of them, I think. Okay. Oh my gosh. Travel and teacher. There's something about your journey there's something about being taught valuable lessons by a journey. Let's see what's going on. We have family here and professional assistance, status quo, fear, loss, create a creative endeavor, the honoring path, and sacred temple. This is almost telling me that you got to be careful. There's family around you. They may have gone through everything you've gone through already. They may be like, been there, done that, right? I'm seeing that energy. This could be, it doesn't have to be like your actual blood family, your relatives. It could be work family, friends that are like family. They're showing, or your community, you know how like this is a family, we all live in this neighborhood. They're showing that some of them are professional at something, or if they're not professional at something, they've gone through the same thing you've gone through many times over, and they're like, I've done this so many times, I could write a book about it. They're trying to influence you. Their fears are what's influencing them to influence you, and Spirit wants you not to listen. Almost, I want to say they don't want you to listen. um I feel that some of the people around you um feel as though they made a lot of head over heart decisions, or if they had to do it over again, they would have made more head over heart decisions, and they're trying to influence your what you're going to do or what you want to do. They're trying to influence that, and it's like relive their past again, or relive what they did before again. These Spirit does not want you to be influenced by your family or people that could be family, um, around you, just in general. They don't want you to be influenced by people who, um, if they've done it over before many times or something. These are people that are making a lot of logical decisions, and Spirit doesn't want you to focus on logic as much, because sometimes our intuition, or what's logical for someone else, is not logical for you. You know what I mean? Like what makes sense for someone else, right? Like for them, they're like, I want to be a minimalist and I want to live in this box here, or this little, you know 300 square foot spot, but I have everything I need right up, in this chamber above my head. And you're like, that is not going to work for me. Yes, it's logical. Yes, it seems like it would be practical, but this is not going to work for me. I have 3 kids. I can't live in that. But they're like, well, I lived in this with my kids and this and the third. Well, that's cool, but that's you. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting off of this, is that they have logical decisions they feel that they would be praised for, and or logical ideas, or some kind of idea of something that's very practical, that they would be praised for, and they may be trying to influence you based on their fears, based on their path and where they went and what they did. They may have decided certain things would work better for them, and so they're trying to push that onto other people. Well, this is how I made my soap, therefore you should do it this way. It's like, but yes, but I'm allergic to those ingredients, so no, I can't do that. But they would still be like, that, who's allergic to those ingredients? I mean, come on. um, this is that energy of these. Yeah, they're trying, because what's good for them, they're almost being praised for what they do. This looks like people who may be on a blog and they're talking about how they lived very simply and they grew everything in their garden. And I mean, that's kind of what it looks like, but it doesn't have to necessarily be that. But the vibe of how I did it, that's practical. And I'm being praised for this. I'm being praised for my thought process and my logic. um, so Gemini, you should do the same. And I'm seeing the travel energy: King of Wands, Six of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and Queen of Pentacles. They're talking about a situation where you realize that what's best for you is what's best for the people that are around you, not what's best for them. What's best for them is what's best for them. But when you do what's best for you, it's also what's best for everyone involved as well. So they want you to focus on that. Understand that when you make decisions based on other people, based on the crowd, based on the public, um, that you find that it causes a lot of conflict in your life. And so it would be best for you to make decisions based off of what's best for you. I'm also seeing that if it ain't broke, don't fix it, in a sense where if it's working for you, then why are you trying to change it? Don't allow anyone to influence you to make more practical decisions at this point. There's something about what's good for them that won't work for you. And they did these things based off of fears. They didn't do them based off of, oh, it makes more sense. It made sense to them because they were afraid of something. So they were able to do something that afforded them more freedom because they were afraid of something, not for you. And I just see that going on here, and I don't know if that makes any sense. But the teacher is the Fool and Four of Pentacles. It seems like this person takes extremely calculated risks. Risks are not even a good word for it, but takes calculated chances. Um, this is someone who's uh, they've worked and reworked something so that it works out in their favor where they don't lose much. But that is because they're afraid. And it's also because um, there's certain things they're afraid to lose, for one, but they're also not, it's something that just works for them. And life has taught them a lot. They don't want to lose anything. This is someone who may have lost big so many times, but that was because of them, their path. Whereas another person would do what they did and they would gain or win big. This person lost big, and they're using that as some kind of influence on you, or attempting to influence you. And they're showing that this is like family or people who have done something many times over, or they are actually professionals. And I meet people like that all the time. Oh, they were a stockbroker, but they don't take any risks. But I see people who take risks who never had studied stock or in their life, and they win big. And so that's something that Spirit's showing, is like, just because they got a paper, just because they have a degree, doesn't mean that they're all knowing, and that doesn't mean that they know what's best. You know, because most of the time when you study something, you know enough to benefit you, not enough to benefit other kinds of people and what they're going to do. You know what I mean? What works best for them. Just because that worked for you doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody else. Fragmented energy with the Page of Pentacles and the King of Cups. The fragmented energy is telling me that what may have you all over the place is like what works best for you versus what someone says is practical. That's it once again here. So you're forever, your end all be all will look different from the next person's end all be all. Everyone would assume that everyone wants to be this, and everyone wants this kind of a home, and everybody wants this kind of a spouse, where that's not going to work for you. And so that's maybe what's got you fragmented. A lot of this looks like what you love may be sad to other people. What you want may be disappointing to another person. And so that has you all over the place. You're like, what? Why doesn't anyone want that? Because it's not in. Everybody wants gray in their house, and you're just like, no, I actually like red and green. Like, I like these different colors. I like brighter colors. I'm seeing that vibe of like, what you like is not something that's popular or what other people deem as good. And so Spirit wants you to focus on what you like. Friends and colleagues with the Nine of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. And this is people, once again, there's a lot of people trying to influence you. These are people who are, it almost looks to me that all the friends and colleagues, these are people you may work with, or you may be friends with, you met them at work, or something, or they're in the same field as you, the same profession, or they have the same skill set. These are people that are kind of stubborn about how they see things. They have the luxury of, in a sense, they have a luxury of just believing what their own, like believing their own hype and what they think is great. It's like life didn't really do anything to them to where they had to understand what really, really works for them, they are able to follow trends. There's something about that. Like, in order to follow trends, one must be like kind of privileged, to be honest with you, right? Because some of these trends are ridiculous and they're expensive. And it looks like these people have the ability to do that, and they may try to influence you. Why wouldn't you get that? I mean, that's the best one. These bracelets are the best. And you're just like, I don't even like those bracelets. I'm gonna be honest. Some of the things, the jewelry that everyone's like, oh, you've got to have. I don't know how to pronounce it, even Van Cleef or whatever. Personally, I'm not a big fan. I'm just like, they're all right. I wouldn't be like, yay, this is my bracelet. I'm so sorry. I mean, they're nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they're nice, but I saw them and I was like, where did they get the? Because it looks like, personally, some things, they look very gumball machinish to me. And then they're like, no, those are very expensive. They're $3,000. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely not a trend follower. Definitely not. I like what I like. I've always kind of liked the same thing. If you would have seen me at 10, you would have seen these same bracelets. I am not even kidding. I like this already as a young kid. But back then it was rose gold. I mean rose quartz. I loved rose quartz, and it was in copious amounts in my backyard in Connecticut. And I just really, really enjoyed that. But now I'm like, oh, I like all different kinds. I didn't know there was so many different kinds when I was young, I was a little kid. But I will say this: it just looks like, there's people around you that follow trends, but they also are following some kind of trend of like practicality, um, and it doesn't work for you. Not saying that you're not practical, but certain that what's practical to you would seem absurd to another person, and the same vice versa. So they're showing that you've got to focus on what you like best, what works best for you, right? It's almost like everybody wants the red, starburst, but your favorite is orange. Well, everybody wins because there's a bunch of orange ones left over because everybody wanted the red ones. So they're showing like what's best for you is what's best for everyone. No waste. Focus on you. Focus on what you like, right? You're meant to be different for a reason. So I hope I'm making sense. This is all over the place, but that's what they've got here. So you could be dealing with a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Pisces. Those are the main signs. Otherwise, every sign is here. I'm not even gonna lie. So if you like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.